So our new story begins in the dream where our protagonist was having a nightmare, and in fear when he woke up, Kazuya accidentally touched Chisato's flatboard, so she started to kick his butt. But that's just how his life goes, and when Kazuya was in the roof after school, he takes out the kimono slash which used to be his mother's. He kept it with him ever since his mother passed away. But when he thought of leaving, he saw a wig lying on the ground and suddenly it started to swell all around him. But with one scream that wig got thrown away and a mysterious voice tells Kazuya that wig is an Amasoji. In that distraction wig attacks him and there he goes. A stupid wig could have become a reason for his death, but luckily that kimono slash saved his life. Then it turned into a gorgeous girl in an instant. Kazuya didn't know who she was. So the girl had butted him as a punishment, and there another girl showed up wearing that same evil wig, but Kiriha called dibs on Kazuya and told the girl he belongs to her. Situation was something like one yokai wants him dead and another wants him as a slave, but Kiriha makes it clear she's a Tsukumagami, not a yokai. And as a master she started to beat around that Amasoji to save Kazuya, then that Amasoji made its hair into nails and some of it hits Kazuya, so Kiriha got ticked and tried to end its life. But Kazuya stopped Kiriha, so she only destroyed that Amasoji who possessed the kid. Later she explained that wig became a possess because the kid had feelings for Kazuya. And these types of strong feelings sometimes create Amasoji, so Kazuya felt tingling that a girl liked him this much. But there's one correction, that's a boy. Explaining everything, Kiriha vanished and a teacher got there, so Kazuya dumps the boy on him and got back home exhausted from everything. It was all confusing, but he was sure about one thing. That girl was the kimono cloth. Thinking of her, he goes for a nap, and as he wakes up from that same dream again, he saw Kiriha was right beside him and got scared. So his sister came up to check up on Kazuya and he immediately threw Kiriha behind the bed. So afterwards he got a good punishment for this. Then, more or less, Kazuya understood that Kiriha is his kimono cloth. So Kiriha got less to explain and moves to the point. She wants sweets and sent Kazuya to buy some from store. But he forgot the holy pudding of all. Pudding is a must, so he made a second round to store just for pudding, and while she's enjoying her treat, Kazuya goes to have dinner. But then Kiriha started to make more noise while watching TV and playing games, so Kazuya made up that he must have left the TV on, so after he finished his dinner, he goes back to the room but Kiriha wasn't there, so Kazuya goes to have a bath and found Kiriha is in here. So normally these stare means death, but Kiriha called him to make him wash her back. Kiriha then did the same for him, and Kazuya was getting shy because Kiriha began to make fun of him. Then the joke went a little too far, causing him a bit of pain. But then sleeping arrangements was making his heart skip a bit, so Kiriha reminded him that he always slept with her when she was a cloth, so that calmed his heart. But her cuddling him became more uncomfortable. Yet somehow he took his beauty sleep, but then in the morning, Kazuya slept late and thought he made it to school on time, but no, he did not. So Chisato scolded him again in a free period for getting careless, but it was all Kiriha's fault since she broke the alarm clock, and she was also ready to tag along in school. So to convince her he asked her to revert back to kimono cloth, and for her safety, he packed her in a plastic bag, then puts her in a box, and then ties it up so the box won't open from fall. And in that way he tricked her successfully. Anyways, there's a legend going around in the school about some slug and ghost with a wig. Kazuya could relate to one of those. And Shiro wanted to have a test of courage. He wants to test it with a girl and have that drama type moment with her, so Chisato beats them up for doing time pass and reminds them about reports. Kazuya completely forgot and tried to copy it from Osamu, so Chisato took him to the library to assist him in doing his homework in lunchtime, but that reminded Chisato about the past. She was a pretty tough tutor as always, so she offered she could come to his house to tutor him again. On one hand it seems nice but not anymore because Kiriha is there. So Kazuya said right now would be difficult, and then he completes his homework and Chisato tried to leave, but the door was locked and Kazuya saw Kiriha there. So Chisato came to Kazuya because the door or neither windows are getting opened, nor the glass in the window was breaking down, so Kiriha came out and Kazuya took her to have a talk ASAP. But first comes the punishment, and then she explains there is a Amasoji here, a proper Tsukumagami like Kiriha are born after years of usage by a human, so they have a fully developed mind. And Amasoji are like immature infants born from human desires, so they'll have to find that Amasoji in this room and for that they asked Chisato's help. But they made up that Kiriha is Kazuya's cousin. Well anyways, they explains the situation and Kiriha gave them kimono clasps, woven with her own hair and it will show them where Amasoji is. So they have to find the Amesoji and fulfill the wish of the human who gave rise to it. So they gets to work and the class started to react to almost everything. So Kiriha goes with Kazuya's idea to break through to get out, but that just broke the reality and the three of them went to a different dimension. There the books started to get hostile. So Kiriha started to fight it out, and there a book giant appears. So when they ran away and got their way blocked, they thought they left the giant behind because it wasn't on sight. So Kiriha thought she could have a nice fight if the giant was here and her wish got granted. It was only targeting Kiriha, not Chisato and Kazuya. So that explains that this whole room is Amesoji and Chisato's wish gave birth to it. Her wish was to tutor Kazuya at his home, so Kazuya agreed to it, and just as her wish was granted, that Amesoji got broken, so the next day she came to his house as promised and saw the scene. So she gave a good beating to Kazuya again and afterwards she apologized to them for causing yesterday's incident, but there is also something else at work. Normally an Amesoji making a different dimension is rare, and the way to make it is Molly-san. Molly-san is like a force of nature that bends the nature's law. And only highly concentrated Molly-san could do something like this, and to prevent something like this is the job of a local god Kuruki, and she failed. So the next day Kazuya goes to school with Kiriha in her bag, but there Shiro gives him a dropped kick as soon as he saw him. Just yesterday a big sister runs into him thinking Shiro was Kazuya, but he was not, so she was going away but the Rax was quite large. So Shiro picked the chance to impress her and he told Kokuyo that Kazuya is his best friend and took her to a restaurant to talk. Shiro makes up he wants to know her first before he could trust her, and only then he would take her to Kazuya, and while knowing each other, Shiro told her she could order anything. And Kokuyo ended up ordering food enough of 4 peoples, everyone were watching her, and she finished the food without leaving a single bite. So the staff gifted her some sweets for making a record of gluttony, and then she goes off, so the bill falls on Shiro and he had to pay up for this. Shiro even had to borrow some money from Osamu as well, so he was ticked because Kazuya knew such a big rat girl and got swindled into this, but there all the kids lost their lunches suddenly. And there Kokuyo came in to look for Kazuya. Seeing her, Shiro got angry for payment, and if she pays him back, Shiro wants to touch the big racks, so if that's the case, Kokuyo gives her permission because she didn't had money, and Shiro jumps in on the chance, but Chisato threw her paper bat and bro missed the chance. Anyways, she came here to take Kazuya to Kokuri, but Kiriha disagrees. Things would go down to extreme violence that could destroy the school if they clashes. So they decided to settle the match with arm wrestling, but Shiro made Koku wear the PE dress, and for his perverted trick, Chisato punished him. Then the arm wrestling started. But it's in the old school way. Then after 5 minutes of fight, Kiriha won and she tagged along with them, but Chisato also accompanied them there to meet Kuruki. They goes to a secluded shrine where they meet Kuruki and Kiriha asked her about the seal, because the seal in Kazuya was meant to last until he becomes an adult. So Kuruki told her that the seal isn't completely broken, it's weakened, so Kiriha told her to repair the seal, but Kuruki can't do that right now. She wants Kazuya to kill Malisons in the area. Because Kazuya is a living attraction for the Molly-san and wherever he goes, incident like this will happen, so to clean the Molly-san attractor is the best. Kiriha was against it but Kuruki was bent on making Kazuya fight and refused to let them leave. Both parties weren't on the same page, so the fight was inevitable. So Kokuyo took Chisato to safety because a tough fight got started. Kuruki is still a goddess, and Kiriha had a difficult time going against her. Even when she attacked Kuruki, she had created a mirage of herself to trick her, but now Kuruki wanted to end the game and began chanting an incantation, and as it finished, a large-sized water ball dropped directly above them. And right there, our today's video ends, but to watch the second part, stay tuned by subscribing to the channel, and to support me, please like the video so that I can bring out more videos for you all. Until then, take care.